what am I going to do in this? 3205s. Let's see. Seven. Well, hello all, and welcome to a repair stream. Hey Sean, hey, thanks for dropping in. I literally just started this, kind of a spur of the moment thing here, so I do thank you for dropping in. Hope everything's coming through okay. Video, perfect. I'm just grabbing some stuff here real quick to put this board back together. So what we have here is a typical Korean style board that uses the IRS21844 IC to drive the outputs. Well, let me just round up my stuff here real quick. So I think I took this amp apart a while ago when I quoted for the customer, and I think the 50N06s came out of the power supply. And as we know, I don't use 50N06s, so I mean it's no big deal to pull out the gate resistors and drop in new gate resistors and use 3205. So I like to carry, you know, a pretty good selection of stock on parts, and if there's one thing I'm going to carry hundreds of are going to be, you know, the 3205s. So we're going to put some 3205s in this, which I know already worked because it uses the 494 power supply drive card here, and it uses the typical diode Zener setup. So I'm just going to drop in the 47 ohm gate resistors. I think I already checked the drive on this. I'm pretty sure I did. Again, I already took this apart a while ago. I got a little backed up on amplifier repairs. Competition season is here, so I don't know. Let's see here. Let's go. I'm gonna do is change the view here real quick for you guys, so you can have more of a general idea on how I go about doing this. So I just dropped in the 47 ohm gate resistors. And what I'll do is I'll hold them in place, flip the board over, and then just bend the legs over. That way they don't fall out of place when I go to solder them in. Hey, Damon, hey. Thanks for joining in. I think I'm going to be doing some live streams today and probably even tomorrow. I've got that big old B2 right there. I got a B2, what is that? The Osprey that I'm going to do a live stream on. It has a very interesting fault to it. No power supply fault, no output fault, but it has a auxiliary power supply fault that took out all the traces. So that I think I will probably be getting to tomorrow. I'm gonna try to get to that tomorrow. So I got a couple of these Korean boards that I got to get through. today, so just a little bit behind, but not too bad. I've been further behind than this before. So hope everyone is doing good. You, Damon, hope you're doing well too. I spent a little while today just fighting. I don't know if you remember me talking to you about that Rockford Fosgate. I still haven't got that thing done. That 800 by 4, I think it was. Rockford Fosgate amp. I'm just having a heck of a time finding the problem on that. Another reason why I tend to stay away from Rockford Fosgate. Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, I couldn't tell you how many amplifiers I have in right now. And I've got people coming over Sunday to drop off more amplifiers. I've got a lot to do. These people, it seems like they tend to burn up their amplifiers pretty quick this time of year, as they try to do their runs or their demos or their DB drags. So I'm going to power up this power supply real quick and check just to make sure I don't have any excessive ringing on the gate signal before I put the power supply transistors in. So of course, guys, you know, I've got my 10 amp current limited power supply there. Just some of the, in my opinion, some of the best power supplies you can use on the initial testing of power or of amplifiers, because they just shut down so quick when there's a problem. Well, that's funny. I like when I get amplifiers in too and the gain is absolutely 100%. Yeah. Oh yes, the 8040s. Yes, yes. Yeah, you know, if you got any of those 8040s too that you need tested, send them on in. I'll get those tested up for you. It takes literally 5 minutes to test a 4080, so send it in if you'd like. I hate it when I don't have anywhere really to attach my remote to. So let's see here. What am I looking for? Power supply, ringing. Green light, of course. Relay comes on, of course. Like I said, I do believe I already checked this once already. So as you can see on the, you're not on this view, but this view here, you can see the scope. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for any ringing, overshoots, undershoots on that drive. And you can see that drive is almost perfectly 90-degree edges, which is great. That's what I'm looking for, is just that perfect 90-degree edge. No ringing, no undershoot, no overshoot. And so, like I said, I put 47 ohm gate resistors in, being driven by a 494. So I do believe 3205 should work just fine on the power supply. It's a little, in my opinion, 3205s are a little heavy. 3205s can take a ton of current, which sometimes is a bad thing too. For when you have a short, when the thing shorts out or they overload it or short the output, these 3205s can burn up quite tragically. So at the same time, I like to make sure I protect, you know, whose ever vehicle this could end up going in. By not using transistors that are so big that the transistor just won't fail. Like a 1404, you put a 1404 in here probably, and you'll end up burning the trace out before you burn up that 1404. So there's some 3205s there. I have been at this all day. See here, cooking for the wife's birthday. Oh yeah, yeah. We have a birthday coming up here too. My wife's son is going to be 14 years old. So I think that's next week. And yes, guys, I use a Hacko FR301 here to do a lot of soldering. It's quick and easy. You always need your desoldering tool, and since it's here, you might as well just use it to solder in the transistors. I know some people look at me a little cross-eyed thinking, what am I doing soldering with a desoldering gun? But I tell you what, if you need heat, a desoldering gun has it for you. So that's the top. I like to make sure that at least the power supplies and the output transistor, I like to make sure that they're soldered well on both the top and the bottom. I know I've heard some things and on other channels about it's okay to just solder the top, but after working on a lot of the Brazilian style boards that just carry a ton of current, you really, really need to make sure your traces are soldered. I mean, just 100%. You want to make sure you got the best contact. Otherwise, you're just going to burn the trace up. On something like the tar amps, like the 12Ks, they're notorious for burning up traces. As a matter of fact, I've got 2 of them here that I got to do that have burnt traces. So, and I think the resolution to that would be to solder the whole trace. They're not soldering the whole trace. So, in my opinion, that would resolve the issue of these amplifiers coming in with burnt traces. So there's 3205s in place, and I'm just gonna find my tweezers here and make sure there's no solder bridges. You'll know real quick if you do, your power supply will not be happy. Or when you go to fire it up, they will heat up really quick. So no solder bridges there. The trusty toothbrush. And sorry guys, I know my desk is a mess. Yeah, check out this pile here. I mean, that's my pile. There's from the Rockford stuff I was working on today. But kind of a mess. I don't like to have a mess, but try to clean it up after every amplifier. So what do we have here? We have the 3205s are in place, gate resistors are in place, power supply drive card works, no undershoots, no overshoots. I don't show any shorts. I know I could put this on screen for you guys, but it does not like to run my meter and my scope and both cameras at the same time. So I'm just going to go through and just double check. And yes, I use resistance. Thanks, guys. 44, 43, 37, and 37. Yes. No shorts that I am aware of. So this amplifier didn't fail from shorted outputs. No. This amplifier failed from a failed power supply, which could be under voltage, could be an overload. Yeah, with the 50 N06s, I can see where you'd just stress the amplifier to a point where you'll lose your power supply. Nothing against the 50 N06s. I do carry a few, but it's just a transistor that I don't use. So voltage regulators are in place, cards in place, everything's turned down. So this amplifier will either do one of two things. It'll go into protect or it'll go into a green light. The goal is for it to go into a green light. If it goes into protect, then I know the 21844 needs to be replaced, or the TL072 or the 211 needs to be replaced, or the 292 or 392 for the protection IC needs to be replaced. So that would be my next step in repairing the amplifier if this doesn't come onto a green light. So power's back on. And I'm just going to pulse it just real quick just to check my rails. And as you can see, let me get my scale back to where you guys can see it. I'm just going to tap the remote, and that's how quick. So we're going to 40 volts negative, and 45 volts positive. And another thing I also check when I'm charging the rails is I'll look and see how fast those are dropping. So that's pretty standard for your resistors that are across the rails. That's discharging your rail capacitors. So see how slow that's going back to zero? That's what you're looking for. If you had a short in the output, anywhere in the output, you'll see one or the other rail or both rails go to zero instantly because there's a short. Typically on these Korean boards, I'll see a negative rail short before I see a lot of positive rail shorts. And that negative rail will go right back to zero really quick. Hey Jesse, hey, thanks for dropping in. What transistors we use besides the 5006? The 3205. The 3205 is the go-to transistor of choice, in my opinion, for the Korean boards. They're just a great all-around transistor. They're easy to drive, anywhere from 47 ohms to 68 ohms on the gate resistors, depending on what drive circuit they're using. So I haven't powered this up fully to the on state yet because I'm not quite ready to do that yet, but just to let you know, what you're looking for in those 3205s is you're looking for ringing or undershoots and overshoots on the drive. So some of the best transistor use 3205s. If you're just starting out on amplifier repair and you're just getting used to understanding transistors and how they work with the circuit itself, I would get some 50N06s, some IRS21844s, and some 3205s. And I would play around with those transistors in different circuits to see how they react, how the gate reacts. And also the drain too, check your drain. But most times, if I were to find a problem, I find it in the gate. So just let you know on those. But as an equivalent to the 50N06, well, I'd have to look into an equivalent, an actual drop-in without having to change anything else. I am not sure of. Anytime I have an amplifier in that uses rows of 50N06s, which is getting more rare to see, actually, just don't see 50N06s a lot in today's amplifiers. I'll just pull them all out. Pull out the gate resistors. Usually you're anywhere from 220 ohms to 1K on your gate pull downs, so those are still good. You just drop in 47 ohm gate resistors with your 3205s. Check your drive, and as long as you don't have any ringing going on, you should be good to go. If you do, I would just start changing slowly the resistance value of your gates. I do have some videos that I have saved from other YouTubers that explain gate resistors very, very well on what to look for. So that's my 2 cents on that. Let's see here. So we're going to go ahead and check and see if this thing powers up to a green light. Already checked. I don't like amplifiers blowing up in my face. Right, Damon? I tell you what, when some of these bigger amps, when they go up, boy, plug your ears, or at least wear earplugs and eye protection. Let's see here. I have all 3 parts in stock. I will try that out on a few cheaper boards. Oh yeah, exactly. The best way to learn this, I don't even know if you'd call it a trade. The best way to learn this is to take a board, a working board, and just start changing things slowly, and really understanding your scope and the signals that you should be seeing on the scope itself. Because that scope will tell you everything. So we do have a green light, which is good. Now we're making some really good progress on this. This is my kind of amplifier repair. Get them in, get the parts replaced, power it up, check your drives, put it back together, send it back out. So that is what I like to see. So it did power up, relay came on. I'm going to check for excessive heat, of course. Especially on the 3205s. If you had any sort of gate issue, you will start to heat them up. But you'll start to learn again that these 494 based power supply cards here work just fantastic with the 3205s. Let me get this into view here for you guys. Oh, and here it is. That's my old thermal camera here. That it's the TG167. That I will use to check for heat. So of course, really the only thing I see that you're always going to see is your rail, your discharge resistors are going to heat up, and I have 0 heat on the 3205s, not even getting warm. So that's perfect. A little bit of heat on the Zener, which is expected because it is dropping the voltage. So a little bit of heat, of course, on the snubbers, but otherwise, that is as cold as it can be, which is good. Let me turn my camera back off here. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and check the drive signals. Do we have... We do not. So if you notice, on the scope, there is no negative drive, which you should have your negative rail drive. And it's not in protect. So that tells me that we need to take the drive card out, which is a real bummer, but that's okay. Yeah, I am not getting my square wave. Do I have my voltages? Let's see here. Negative 15, positive 15. Let's see here, 46.4 and 34. So I have my negative 12. Well, 12 volts reference to negative rail. Sorry, guys. I will try to keep my terminology straight here. So, and do I have my 5 volts? I just want to double check and make sure I have my 5 volts. Which So 4.97, yeah, all right. So I do have my 5 volts. So we got to rebuild that card. This is where I wish I had a spare 21844 card, which I do not have a spare one at the time. Hey Chris, hey, thanks for joining in. Let's see here. Is there an equivalent? Great information about the thank you for the detail and for your time also. Of course, I am more than happy to answer any questions. Do what I can to help others. That's why I do this. If there's one thing I believe this world could use a lot more of, are good component level repair technicians. So that's just one of the things that I believe that we really could use. So let me double check and make sure I don't have a spare 21844 card, which I don't think I do. I have all sorts of Type 3 cards. The one thing I'm lacking are the cards that have the 21844s on them. Well, it's okay. Let's see here. Hey Todd, what would cause all the input caps to bulge and leak and all the electrolyte out in this? Are you working on a Rockford Fosgate amp? Where's Damon? Is Damon still here? Hey Damon, if you have some input on that, that'd be awesome. So when you're talking the input caps, are you talking the for instance, like on this one here, this is your 12 volt coming in off your 12 volts. Are you talking your 12 volt filtering capacitors, or are you talking your output rail capacitors? So let's see here. Yeah, you know, if there's one topology that I'm not familiar with, I can still get them done. It takes an extreme amount of time. Are the Rockford Fosgate amps, which some I will work on, some I won't. Rockford Fosgate kicker, some kicker boards I won't bring in for service, and some Sony boards, some Sony and Alpine boards. I won't bring in. I'll bring them in like in the fall and winter when I'm not as busy with the competition guys, because I'll have more time to be able to devote to repairing them. So but if it's your 12 volt capacitors, your 12 volt primary filtering capacitors, what makes those bulge, I guess you'd have to think of it this way. You have to know why a capacitor bulges. They bulge from pressure, and that pressure is created from heat from gases within the capacitor. So usually is when you are in a really high ripple situation, or you are exceeding the working voltage of the capacitor. So it's your 12 volt capacitors. Yeah, you know, that's probably, sorry guys, it might get a little noisier for a second. You could be over voltage, or even a short. If you had a short across the capacitors, but that's usually from your capacitors boiling. You Give me just a second, guys. Here, I'm going to pull this card out real quick. Sorry, guys, if you're wearing your headphones. My mic might pick this up or it may not. It does. Let's see here. That's what I love about these FR301s. They make quick work. So let me do something real quick here. Let me grab another board real quick. And I'm going to borrow a card. Almost there, guys. You know what this doesn't work good on? Are the Rockford Fosgate cards. Oh my gosh, talk about a nightmare to get cards out. Rockford Fosgate, of course, does it again. Nothing against Rockford Fosgate, they're just not very user-friendly. All right, so it may be incorrect, but if there's any possibility of the alternator sending out ripple or causing those capacitors to go if the alternator is failing, hard to say. You know, I have been out of the install business, I think, since 2000. Oh gosh, 5. I haven't done an install for anyone other than myself, of course, since 2005. So I don't know today's market world for car audio. So if it's an alternator issue, could be. But the thing is if it was an alternator issue, it would have taken out a lot more things than just your amplifier. So remember that, because everything else in your car, your ECU, all that has primary filtering. So other things could have failed in that kind of situation. So 3205. Make sure I was working on the same board here. I know, guys. This is called cheating right here. You see what I'm doing? I'm taking a card out of another board and putting it in. That's cheating. It really isn't. It's called making quick work. Then what I'll do is I'll show you guys how I go about fixing these cards. And again, you know, using the good old Hacko here to solder things back together. Quick and easy. Quick and easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to power this back up again and see if I have made any progress. So, what do you guys think has failed on this particular card? Any ideas? Or what would you do to repair that card? I can tell you what I do. What I do is probably going to be considered a little extreme, but what would you guys do to fix that card? So let's get this turned back on. Ew. Yeah, what was that about? Did I just see my high side? Oh yes. Oh, it is definitely not. Okay, guys, so it's not card related. What am I missing? Oh my gosh. Hold on, I'm missing something here. Hold on, what am I missing? What am I missing? I'm missing something. What am I missing? Hmm. So I have to be missing a... Yeah, you see this? I don't have any low side drive. Let's see here. Chip quick for rock for Fosgate cards. Oh, oh yeah. I I kind of have I guess a roundabout way of quick chipping it. I just fire up the old E62, my hot air gun, and I take my Hacko, I load up the pins with a bunch of solder and heat the whole thing up, and it drops right out. It kind of makes a mess though. All right, hold on. Let's see here. What's the protect? It's not going into protect, but I'm gonna bet I'm not getting... There's my positive. Here's my negative. I've got all my voltages, so it is the protect. Hold on. 46. Two. Where's it at? Check the drive transistors and probably need to replace the IC as well if they are shorted. I'm pretty sure there's some kind of drive transistors on the board. Well, actually, that's the thing about these amps. When you have an output failure, it always takes out the 21844. It's because there really is nothing in between. So it's... I'm not sure how well I can show you on the screen here, but your signal will come into this TL072 here. It'll come out as a square wave. with their attempt to deface this IC, which is a 211 or a 311 IC. It comes out, goes through these two transistors here, which reference that to a positive and negative 5 volts, goes up through, and your Q6 here, your little max transistor right here, references that square wave to the negative rail, which then goes and feeds it to the input pin of your IRS21844. Now, I do believe that this is in shutdown. It's been a while since I had to deal with a shutdown issue on these. So I know it's not the card because this card works. But it's in shutdown, and shutdown is high or low. Gosh, I can't remember. Me and my old age memory here. So usually when something is in shutdown, it's because I have an open, and the amplifier's not going into protect. I usually have an open resistor somewhere I have thing is I gotta find it, but which one? All right, guys, which pin is the shutdown on these cards? David, late to the party? Oh, never late. It just, I guess the thing is how late am I going to be working? But yeah, I have a shutdown. Hold on, guys. I need to pull up a data sheet. Oh, wait, hold on. For the 21844. But I think I have a printout here. Nope. That's for an Orion card. Let's see here. That's for Orion. That's all tar amps. Don't worry, guys. I have it somewhere. Aha. All right. So the shutdown for the 21844 is pin 2. So if pin 2 is low, it is in shutdown. So what do they mean by if it's low? And I hate probing. I hate probing pins on these. Let me find the nearest point. Pin 2. Yuck. There really is no good place to probe pin 2. Pin 2, they say if it's low. And I've been working with some people on helping them to understand this. If it's low, but low to what? When people think low, they think 0 volts or something of the sort. But again, it all goes back to, well, what is it referenced to? So I'm going to try to do this without shorting out this 21844. What does it show there, guys? 41.6. Is that what that says? 41.6? So pin 1 is 40.9 and pin 2 is 41.6. Aha. Well, so guys, is that high or low? This is where people get confused that I try to help them understand. So remember, pin 2 is at 41.6 volts. And your negative rail, your pin 1, I should say, Remember, pin 1 is referenced to the negative rail because that's how you're getting your drive. Pin 1 is at 40.8 and pin 2 is at 41. So what amp is this? Oh, this is the BRX 1116.1D, whichever amp that is. This is just a small little Hifonics board. So it's in shutdown because it's low. It's only 1 volt above the negative rail. So I do believe that it should be, what, 5 volts above negative rail to be considered in high state. So usually there's a resistor that goes that's responsible for my shutdown pin. Hold on, I gotta check and see what we got here. So where's my shutdown? Oh, is it going back to the power supply card? Yes. Yes, yes, it is, isn't it? Oh, that's true. Hooked up backwards. Usually when you hook up an amplifier backwards, it'll usually either take out your traces or it'll take out your reverse polarity protection diode or burn up your transistors too. Because that's a lot of capacitors. If you think about it, how many did you say that there was? 15 to 20 capacitors. I would think something else would fail before a full bank of 15 to 20 would fail. So oh, my wife is back. You're gonna hear some dogs barking here, guys. Give me just 2 seconds here, okay? I may have to continue this at another time. So, hey guys, just to let you know, I'm gonna be back tomorrow with this right here for you guys. This B2 Osprey here. I've got a B2 and I have a Crescendo 17K that I'm going to be fixing the output on. So I do have 2 really big amplifiers for tomorrow's live stream. I'm going to have to run. The boss is back real quick here, so I need to take care of some business, and we will come back to you with this B2 and a Crescendo 17K. So I do thank you guys for sticking around on this. And again, like I said, I will be back with you soon. I just got to catch my wife real quick. I'll be back. Thanks, guys.